cool. In the waterway to our right, I see some hippos, weighing about 5,500 pounds with 18-inch long teeth. They do, please keep stitch seated there. They do spend most of their day in the water to keep from overheating, coming out primarily just at night to feed on grasses. More hippos in the waterway to our left. A group of hippos is called a bloat, and they can hold their breath about 7 to 8 minutes, even sleeping underwater. Also some pink-backed pelicans on this island. Pink-backed pelicans get their name from the color their feathers change during mating season. Another hippo on this island off to our left.
Oh, look at there. There you go.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Also some Nile crocodiles along the shoreline over here to our left, often growing about 18 to 20 feet long. They can take down very large prey such as zebra and wildebeest. In a single meal, they can eat about half of their body weight worth of food. At times, you might even see them with their mouths open to help regulate their body temperatures. Since a Nile crocodile can take down a zebra or wildebeest fairly easily, let's head on out towards the savannah, where many of those types of creatures are seen grazing or migrating across the savannah. The baobab tree off to our right over here, it's probably a couple thousand years old. It does go most of the year without leaves to conserve water, so many call it the upside down tree since the limbs look like roots. As we make our way onto the savannah ahead of us, which is part of the Serengeti grasslands, much of the appearance of the savannah does come from the wildlife living here. Giraffes prune back the trees, allowing light through the grasses to grow. Springbok, eland, wildebeest, and many others act like lawnmowers, trimming back the tall grasses. I see some Nkoli cattle off to our right, also known as Watusi cattle, since the Watusi tribe was the first to domesticate them thousands of years ago. Their large horns are actually hollow, kind of honeycombish on the inside, allowing blood to run through them, acting like a radiator during the hot summer months. Very cool African wild dogs off to our left amongst the brush. Also known as African painted dogs, they're one of the most successful predators in all of Africa, teaming up in packs to run down their prey. They do come from a separate line of the canine family than your own pets, only having 4 toes per paw. They're successful at hunting about 4 out of 5 times that they hunt. Some sable antelope off to our left. They're the emblem of Everest Wildlife Reserve. Also some termite mounds on both sides of the roadway, probably as hard as concrete. Made out of mud and saliva from termites. Elephants use them as back scratches until they're worn out, like that one to our right. And other wildlife use them as lookout posts for predators that may be lurking in the tall grasses. Oh yes, and the Maasai giraffe off to our left up ahead, often standing over 20 feet in height. At birth, they're about 6 feet tall and can stand in under an hour after being born, allowing them to nurse from their tall mothers or run from predators if needed. You can tell those are Maasai giraffe compared to other varieties of giraffe by the very jagged lines in their dark coats. Other varieties include reticulated that have a more net-like pattern than the Maasai giraffe. Giraffes don't sleep very much at all either, maybe 30 to 40 minutes total a day, only taking brief naps a few minutes at a time. They also have one of the highest blood pressures out of any animal, which helps get their blood up their tall necks. And those necks have the same number of vertebrae as your own neck.
Mickey Mouse here. He's hungry.
There's the baby.
Yeah, young male there. Another young male up on that hill to our left.
Oh, yeah.
Also, a couple more walking towards us up ahead alongside some springbok. A springbok might look small, especially near those giraffes, but they are fully grown around 100 pounds. And they get their name from their ability to spring about 6 feet into the air or 13 feet forward as they run. Looks like two males here on our left. Or on our right, actually. A couple more giraffe up near that baobab tree to our right. Definitely an awesome sight of them. Giraffe can actually run over 30 miles an hour. And their kick is strong enough to break the jaw of a lion. Well, just around these rocks here is Monkey Point. From there, it's a short drive out to elephant country, where hopefully we'll find some more wildlife. Oh, very cool. Around the rocks to our left, I see some mandrills. One of the largest variety of monkey in the world. Males weigh up to about 100 pounds. Females about 30 to 40. Very colorful variety of monkey also. You can tell they're monkeys and not apes because they have tails. Looks like a couple of females there to our left. Looks like they're foraging for some food there. A group of mandrills is actually called a congress. Well, I would like to find some elephants today. They have been seen down this road to our right in the past, so hopefully we can find some more wildlife in this direction. Definitely elephants being one of the favorites out here. It looks like the road I was going to take to find the elephants is closed. I was really hoping to find some in that direction, though. I think I remember an old bridge around the corner here, though. Hopefully the old bridge is still there, I hope. I'll keep my fingers crossed. It's really old the last time I saw it, but I would like to find some elephants, so hopefully it's still there. There's the old bridge now. It's still here, but it looks awfully old. Should we head over it?
Yeah!
Alright, we'll head over poly, meaning very slowly, since it does look so old. Looks like someone repaired it with some cables, so we should be alright. Sounds a little old, but I think we're fine. It seems okay to me. Hold on! Hold on tight, that wasn't supposed to happen. Better make it off this bridge quick, that's not good at all. Alright, there go our front tires, and there go our back tires. Made it across there, okay? But I think we'll avoid that in the future. Seems a little too old to me. The red clay pits are just around the corner here. At times, elephants are seen coming here to add minerals to their diet. Tusk marks might mean they're in the area. We'll keep an eye out for them. Herds are usually made up of just females and their children. There's one way off in the distance to our left. Let's see if we can get a better view of her. Our herds are usually led by the eldest female in the herd, which helps them find food and water. There's another one off to our left right now. Both male and female African elephants do have tusks, often leading to their hunting and poaching to the black market.
I know, that's Aunt Rachel's favorite.
Sometimes during droughts, elephants are seen coming up to the baobab trees and poking holes in them with their tusks for water. Quite a few of them in this herd, it looks like. At times you might see them flapping those large ears to help cool their bodies down about 10 to 15 degrees. If you have another Maasai giraffe to our right along with these elephants to our left. Elephants at times are seen throwing dirt and other debris on their backs, kind of like a natural form of sunblock since they do have very sensitive skin. Definitely cool seeing these elephants out here. Also some flamingo off to our left over here. Flamingo do get their pink coloration from the food they eat, consisting of shrimp and other small crustaceans. They are hatched at more of a gray color, gaining the pink about 1 to 2 years of age.
That's why I said.
A few more elephants. They're definitely an awesome view from here.
Look at how pretty they are. Yeah, they get their pink color from what they eat. Yeah, right?
I don't want to be pink.
Why? It's my favorite color.
I'm pink. It's not my favorite color. I think it's red.
Well, pink is a form of red.
It's a pale red.
Bedrooms can't be choosing pale red.
One of our wardens recently set up this display to our left of items taken from poachers. Helps remind us what we're trying to protect out here in the wild of Africa. And one of my favorite creatures here on the reserve off to our left, the Bonsabak. They're very rarely seen in the wild anymore, just on reserves like this. At one point, there were only 17 left in the entire world. Probably more people on this truck right now than that. So definitely an important reason to have reserves just like this. Oh, very cool. Off to our right, white rhino. Being much larger than the black rhino, they often weigh over 5,000 pounds. You might notice white rhino aren't actually white like their name suggests, more of a gray. Their name comes from the Afrikaans word white, meaning wide, referring to their very wide lips used for eating grasses.
Do you like this, Roger?
There's a cheetah. Keep walking.
Oh, very cool. Amongst the brush to our left, some cheetahs.
Yeah.
Capable of moving up to 60 to 70 miles an hour, only for short distances, maybe 100 yards before overheating and wearing out. Their claws don't retract like many other large cats, acting more like a cleat to give them extra speed.
They hear something back there. They focus on too, whatever it is.
That's crazy, isn't it?
They are primarily daytime hunters since they do hunt by sight, but unfortunately they often lose their prey to larger predators such as lions and hyenas.
Amy's wondering where the fence is.
Well, just around the corner from us here are some rocks known as the Copies. Hopefully we'll spot some more wildlife out here at the Copies today.
Laying up on top.
Oh, very cool. Laying up on the Copies. Often seen resting and sleeping about 20 hours a day. They're most active at night when the females do the majority of the hunting. Does anyone know the Swahili name for lion? Yeah, you got that. Simba means lion in Swahili. Oh, look, a male and another female off to our left.
Look, over here to the left. You're going to see him. Look at the big lion.
She looks awfully relaxed there. He looks relaxed too, doesn't he?
Right?
He's like, I'm just hanging out.
Yeah.
Roger, you see the big lion?
Yeah, very common to see lions sleeping, especially during the daytime hours.
Look at the lions over there. Look, show me over
Their roars actually can be heard several miles away, which help keep prides together.
Right? Let the pups have her up all night or something.
I'm worried about the blanket. More worried about the blanket. I saw one of them.
A very cool warthog off to our left. Being one of the largest burrowing animals in all of Africa, they're often seen backing into their burrows to display their tusks.
Yeah. What kind of, remember what?
I also see some ostrich up ahead. Being the world's largest bird, they're unable to fly due to that large size.
One of them was a wolf.
Also looks like ostrich laid some eggs under these trees. Ostrich eggs often weigh over 3 pounds. Awesome view of the ostrich off to our right. I find it kind of cool their knees bend the opposite direction of our own. They only have 2 toes per foot. Other large birds such as emus that are from Australia actually have 3 toes per foot. While many reserves, like our own, have been expanding in recent years in hopes of meeting the needs of more wildlife, ours recently expanded through the gates into an area known as the Glen. Hopefully we'll find some wildlife that may have recently joined us here in the reserve in the Glen today. I see some yellow-billed storks near the waterway off to our right. Now, they have about a 5-foot wingspan, often seen eating fish, frogs, snakes, even other small birds. Well, we are approaching the end of our reserve, so I'll take you back to the Warden's Post. From there, it's a short walk over to Gorilla Falls, where hopefully you can find more wildlife, such as gorillas. They even have an underwater viewing area for wildlife such as hippos, so make sure you check that out today. Also, back in the village of Harambe, a lot of local musicians are seen performing. One of the top-rated shows around being Festival of the Lion King. It occurs once an hour on the hour, but make sure you arrive early to get a good seat. And make sure you come back and see us again here on Kilimanjaro Safaris. And no 2 safaris are ever exactly the same. We even have safaris after sunset, and you might find more activity at some of our wildlife, or even find some wildlife we didn't find on today's safari. And here in Africa, we don't like to say goodbye. We prefer to say kwaherini, meaning go well. So kwaherini, everyone.
Kwaherini.
Asante sana, thank you. Well, I'm going to take you back to the Warden's Post I picked you up from, so we got a little bit longer of a journey up there.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
We're building their nest right up there. It's about halfway done at the moment.
Tyndale, Harlot, please. Now, ring, low. That's a classic from Zimbabwe. Demand a better. Two and two. Host. Shivaja Mudre. 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 What a wonderful job on the dance floor. Everybody say yeah, yeah. Say ooh, ooh. Oh, vamos a una estatua de defensa. En abajo una estatua de society.
Welcome, everyone. It's me, Simba. You've all picked a very special day to visit. You see, today, we've come to town for a big celebration. And you, my friends, are invited to join in the fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get ready to clap your paws, stomp your hooves, ruffle your feathers, as we welcome you to the Festival of the Lion King. Let the procession begin.
The show can begin. Hey, what are you doing? Slow down, slow down. I'm supposed to be center stage. Who's driving this thing?
All right, Giraffe, you're first on the count of three. Let's make some noise. 1, 2, 3.
Why? I mean the sheep section.
'Cause
Oh,
so our journey comes to an end, but yours continues on. Grab hold of your dreams and come true. For you are the key to unlocking your own adventure. Now go, let your dreams guide you. Reach out and find your happily ever after.
Oh, very cool. In the waterway to our right, I see some hippos, weighing about 5,500 pounds with 18-inch long teeth. They do, please keep stitch seated there. They do spend most of their day in the water to keep from overheating, coming out primarily just at night to feed on grasses. More hippos in the waterway to our left. A group of hippos is called a bloat, and they can hold their breath about 7 to 8 minutes, even sleeping underwater. Also some pink-backed pelicans on this island. Oh, very cool. In the waterway to our right, I see some hippos, weighing about 5,500 pounds with 18-inch long teeth. They do, please keep stitch seated there. They do spend most of their day in the water to keep from overheating, coming out primarily just at night to feed on grasses. More hippos in the waterway to our left. A group of hippos is called a bloat, and they can hold their breath about 7 to 8 minutes, even sleeping underwater. Also some pink-backed pelicans on this island. Pink-backed pelicans get their name from the color their feathers change during mating season. Another hippo on this island off to our left.
Oh, look at there. There you go.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Also some Nile crocodiles along the shoreline over here to our left, often growing about 18 to 20 feet long. They can take down very large prey such as zebra and wildebeest. In a single meal, they can eat about half of their body weight worth of food. At times, you might even see them with their mouths open to help regulate their body temperatures. Since a Nile crocodile can take down a zebra or wildebeest fairly easily, let's head on out towards the savannah, where many of those types of creatures are seen grazing or migrating across the savannah. The baobab tree off to our right over here, it's probably a couple thousand years old. It does go most of the year without leaves to conserve water, so many call it the upside down tree since the limbs look like roots. As we make our way onto the savanna ahead of us, which is part of the Serengeti grasslands, much of the appearance of the savanna does come from the wildlife living here. Giraffe prune back the trees, allowing light through the grasses to grow. springbok, eland, wildebeest, and many others act like lawnmowers, trimming back the tall grasses. I see some fully cattle off to our right, also known as Watusi cattle, since the Watusi tribe was the first to domesticate them thousands of years ago.